Mom announced she's pregnant for the 5th time, but I'm done raising her kids. So I moved out, but she showed up at my new apartment. Hi. My name is Riley. At 17, I should be stressing about SAT scores and homecoming dates, not whether my 7-year-old brother remembered his EpiPen or if my twin toddler sisters had their sippy cups filled with the exact right ratio of milk to water. But that's been my reality since I was 10, when my father vanished one Wednesday afternoon and my mother decided that creating more life would somehow resurrect the one that had died inside her. Riley, can you get the twins dressed while I fix breakfast? Mom's voice drifted from the kitchen, carrying that familiar exhausted tremor it had worn for years like a second skin. I'm trying to finish my college essay, Mom. Early decision deadline is today. I shot back, my fingers flying across my laptop keyboard at our scratched dining table. My 13-year-old brother Jordan appeared in the doorway, his backpack already slung over one shoulder. I can help with Mia and Grace, he offered, his voice barely above a whisper. I shook my head, not looking up from my screen. No, you need to take your allergy medicine and pack your lunch. I've got this. But you always have it, Jordan said, and something in his tone made me pause. His eyes held a weariness that number 13-year-old should carry. You look exhausted. I was up until 3 finishing my AP biology lab report, I admitted, rubbing the grit from my eyes. My contacts felt like sandpaper. Mom shuffled in, her faded robe barely closing over her slightly rounded stomach. Girls, boys, everyone. Living room. Now. Where's Benji? And where are the twins? Benji's in the bathroom. The twins are still asleep, Jordan reported with the precision of a military officer. Can this wait, Mom? Please. This essay determines my entire future, I pleaded, gesturing desperately at my laptop screen, where my cursor blinked mockingly at me. This won't take long, sweetheart. Mom lowered herself heavily onto the couch. I went to see Dr. Henderson yesterday. Something in her voice made my stomach drop. I looked up from my laptop, really looked at her. Are you sick? No, honey. A strange, almost dreamy smile spread across her face. I'm pregnant. The words hung in the air like smoke after an explosion. Again. Jordan whispered, his face going pale. It's a blessing, Mom insisted, her hand moving protectively to her stomach. Another precious gift to cherish. Another precious gift for Riley to raise, you mean? Jordan muttered louder than he'd probably intended. Jordan. Mom snapped, her smile evaporating. I stared at my mother, and it was like seeing her clearly for the first time in 8 years, the perpetually bloodshot eyes, the forced brightness in her voice that never reached her face, the way she'd mentally check out whenever the crying got too loud or the problems too complicated. Who's going to take care of this one, Mom? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. We all will as a family, the way families do, she said, but her eyes were fixed on the wall behind my head. No, I said, and the word felt like breaking through glass. I won't. Mom's head snapped toward me like I'd slapped her. Excuse me. I'm 17 years old. I've been a parent since I was 10. I've changed more diapers than you've probably changed in your entire life. I've missed winter formals, study sessions, sleepovers, and approximately 2,000 hours of sleep to take care of your children. Our family, she corrected sharply. No, your children, your responsibility. I closed my laptop with a definitive click. I love my siblings more than almost anything, but I can't do this anymore. I won't do this anymore. Riley, don't be so dramatic. We need you here. That's exactly the problem, Mom. You need me. You've built your entire life around needing me to be the adult you refuse to be. My phone buzzed against the table. A text from my best friend Brooklyn. Still picking you up in 20. Coffee run before school. I'm moving out, I said. And as the words left my mouth, they felt like the truest thing I'd ever spoken. What? Where would you even? Mom actually laughed, a nervous, high-pitched sound. You can't be serious. Brooklyn's parents offered me their guest room. They did it months ago, actually. I just wasn't ready to accept until now. You cannot just abandon your family, Riley. I won't allow it. Mom's voice rose sharply, and from upstairs, I heard 7-year-old Benji start crying. Riley. Benji appeared at the top of the stairs, his Spider-Man pajamas rumpled, his eyes wide with confusion. Why is everyone yelling? It's okay, buddy, I said, forcing calm into my voice. Just grown-up stuff. Go back to bed. You're not a grown-up, Mom scoffed. You're a child making a childish, selfish decision. No, Mum. I stood up, feeling taller than I ever had. I'm the child who never got to be a child because you kept having babies you expected me to mother. I'm the kid who taught herself to make formula at midnight, who learned how to use an EpiPen at 11, who's been to more pediatrician appointments than most actual parents. As if scripted by the universe itself, the twins started wailing from upstairs. Go, I told Mom, grabbing my laptop and backpack. They need their mother, not their sister. After dropping everyone at school and daycare, yes, one last time, I called Brooklyn from my ancient Toyota Corolla in the school parking lot. By that afternoon, I'd packed 2 duffel bags and my laptop. 3 days later, I was settled into Brooklyn's family's guest room, which they'd painted a soft lavender and furnished with a desk, a bed with an actual comfortable mattress, and luxury of luxuries, a door that locked. For the first time in 8 years, I slept through the night. But peace is a fragile thing. 9 days later, I stood at my locker chatting with Brooklyn about college applications when a commotion erupted near the main entrance. Where is she? I need my daughter. Riley. Mom's voice cut through the hallway noise like a siren. I turned to see her pushing through the crowded corridor, the twins strapped into a massive double stroller, Benji clutching her hand, all of them looking disheveled and lost. Oh no, Brooklyn breathed beside me. She didn't. Riley. Mom spotted me and began shoving through clusters of students, several of whom pulled out their phones. You need to come home right now. The twins haven't stopped crying since you left. Benji wet the bed last night because you weren't there to remind him to use the bathroom before bed. Jordan's allergies have been all over the place. Brooklyn stepped partially in front of me. Mrs. Porter, you can't just show up at school like this. Stay out of family business, Mom snapped, her face flushed and her hair unwashed. Riley, get your things. We're leaving. Is there a problem here? Mr. Thompson, my English teacher, approached with concern written across his face. Yes, Mom said, tears suddenly streaming down her cheeks. My daughter abandoned her family when we need her most. She just left us. Students were gathering now, phones recording, whispers spreading like wildfire. My face burned with humiliation. I could already imagine the TikToks. Teenage girl abandons her siblings. Drama in the hallway. Mom, you need to leave now. This isn't the place, I hissed. When is the place? You blocked my number. You won't answer texts. You've ghosted your own family. Mrs. Porter, Mr. Thompson intervened gently but firmly. Let's take this to the administrative office. This isn't appropriate. As we walked, Mom pushing the stroller, Benji clinging to her shirt, Mr. Thompson leading, me trailing behind with Brooklyn at my side, Benji broke free and ran back to me, wrapping his arms around my waist. I miss you, Riley. Why don't you live with us anymore? Miss you too, buddy, I whispered, fighting back tears. But I had to. It's complicated. In Principal Anderson's office, Mom continued her performance. She just vanished. No warning, no discussion. She abandoned 4 children who depend on her. That's not true, I countered, my voice shaking. I told you I was leaving. I told you I couldn't do it anymore. You just didn't believe me because you've never actually heard me. Miss Porter, Principal Anderson said, his hands folded on his desk. Your mother indicates you've been helping care for your siblings quite extensively. Helping. The word came out as a bitter laugh. I've been their primary caregiver since I was 10 years old. I'm the one who gets up at 2 a.m. when the twins have nightmares. I'm the one who monitors Jordan's severe allergies. I'm the one who makes lunches, schedules dentist appointments, attends parent-teacher conferences. That's absurd, Mom interrupted. I'm their mother. I do all those things. Really? I turned to face her directly. When was the last time you took Jordan to his allergist? When was his last appointment? What's his current medication regimen? Mom stared at me blankly. He takes Zyrtec every morning and carries 2 EpiPens, I said quietly. His last appointment was 6 weeks ago on Thursday at 2:15 with Dr. Martinez. His next one is in 3 weeks. Mr. Thompson shifted uncomfortably in his seat. Mrs. Porter, Principal Anderson said carefully. How many children do you have? 4, soon to be 5, she said, placing a protective hand over her stomach. Principal Anderson's eyebrows lifted noticeably. And you expect Riley to help manage all of their care? She's always been so natural with them, so capable. I just need a little help until I get my feet under me again. It's been 8 years, Mom, I said, my voice cracking. You're never getting your feet under you because you keep having more kids. You're having another baby right now when you can't even take care of the ones you already have. I think we should involve our school counselor, Principal Anderson suggested, reaching for his phone. That won't be necessary, Mom said quickly, standing up. Riley, get your things. We're going home. This is ridiculous. I'm not going anywhere. You're 17. You're a minor. You have to do what I say. Actually, Mr. Thompson interjected quietly. There are protocols for situations like this, resources available. Ms. Chun, the school counselor, arrived within minutes. After hearing both sides, though Mom's version involved a lot of tears and claims that I was being difficult and ungrateful, Ms. Chun asked to speak with me alone. Riley, what you're describing is called parentification, she explained gently, her office smelling like lavender and old books. It's a form of emotional abuse where a child is forced to take on parental responsibilities inappropriately. I thought it was just normal, oldest kid responsibilities. There's a difference between helping fold laundry and being responsible for a child with severe allergies at 11 years old, Ms. Chin said. Have you considered that Child Protective Services might need to be involved? My stomach dropped. I don't want my siblings taken away. I love them. I just want to be 17. I just want to apply to colleges and go to prom and maybe work a part-time job at Target where my only responsibility is organizing shelves. There are other options besides removing the children: family intervention services, parenting support, mandatory counseling. When I emerged from Ms. Chen's office, Brooklyn was waiting with my backpack. Your mom left, she reported. Right after Ms. Chen mentioned CPS, she grabbed all the kids and basically ran out of here. She'll be back, I sighed. She can't do this without me. She's never had to. That's not your problem to solve, Brooklyn said firmly. The kids didn't choose this though. And neither did you, came Ms. Chen's voice. She'd followed me out. Riley, the children can be helped through proper channels that don't involve sacrificing your entire adolescence. I've already contacted a family services specialist who works specifically with situations like yours. Her name is Dr. Linda Washington. She'd like to meet with you. That afternoon, I sat in Dr. Washington's cluttered office at Family Support Solutions, surrounded by children's drawings on the walls and a shelf full of toys and books. Linda had kind eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor that immediately put me at ease. I don't want revenge, I explained, clutching a cup of chamomile tea she'd made me. I don't want my mom to suffer. I just want her to be an actual parent. I want my siblings to have a mother who shows up, and I want to figure out who I am without babies on my hip. Sometimes, Linda replied, making notes on her tablet, accountability is the best form of love for everyone involved. 4 days later, I found myself back in Linda's office, but this time, Mom sat across from me. The air felt thick, oppressive. Mom's jaw was set, her arms crossed defensively. I don't understand why we're here, Mom said, her fingers worrying at her purse strap. This is a private family matter. You're making it sound like I'm some kind of monster. Mrs. Porter, Linda began, her voice calm but firm. Riley has described a situation that concerns me professionally. As a mandated reporter, I'm obligated to ensure all the children in your home are receiving appropriate care. Are you threatening to take my babies away? Mom's voice climbed in pitch, panic coloring every word. No one is making threats, Linda said. We're here to discuss support services that could benefit your family. Services that exist specifically for situations like this. We don't need services. We need Riley to come home and help like she's supposed to, like family does. I clenched my fists in my lap, nails digging into my palms. That's exactly the problem, Mom. It's not my job to raise your children. I'm not the parent, you are. You've never complained before. You've always been so helpful, so mature. I've complained constantly, I said, my voice rising. Every time I asked you to take Jordan to the doctor and you said you were too tired. Every time I begged you to hire a babysitter so I could go to a friend's birthday party. Every time I cried because I was failing a class because I couldn't stay awake. You just never listened. You never heard me because actually hearing me would mean you'd have to change. Linda raised a hand. Let's focus on solutions. Mrs. Porter, you have 4 children and another on the way. With Riley not living at home, how do you plan to manage their care? The same way I always have, Mom replied stubbornly. We'll figure it out. With Riley as unpaid round-the-clock childcare? Linda asked pointedly. Because that's not a sustainable or legal solution. She's exaggerating, Mom insisted. All teenagers babysit their siblings. All oldest children help out. That's just how it works. Babysitting is occasional, I countered, my voice steadier now. Babysitting is watching them for a few hours on a Saturday night. I've been getting up for night feedings since the twins were born. I'm the one who learned how to use an EpiPen when Jordan had his first severe allergic reaction. I make all their meals, do their laundry, schedule their appointments, help with homework, sign permission slips. Because you're good at it, Mom interrupted. You've always been so organized, so responsible. It's one of your gifts. I'm organized because I had to be, I said quietly. I'm responsible because if I wasn't, Jordan might end up in the hospital with anaphylactic shock. I learned these things out of necessity, not gift. I was a child, Mom. I should have been learning how to do algebra and worrying about boys, not learning medical procedures. Don't be so dramatic. Mrs. Porter, Linda interjected. From what Riley describes, she's been functioning as a co-parent, not a sibling. That's inappropriate regardless of her capability or maturity. That's parentification, and it's a recognized form of family dysfunction. So what am I supposed to do? Mom demanded, her voice breaking. I can't afford childcare for 4 kids. Do you know how much daycare costs? How much babysitters charge? That's exactly my point, Linda said. You can't afford childcare for 4 children, yet you're pregnant with a 5th. There are assistance programs you qualify for, subsidized childcare, family support services, parenting classes, therapy. I don't need parenting classes, Mom scoffed. I've raised 4 kids. Mom, I said quietly. When was the last time you went to one of Benji's soccer games? She frowned. I've been busy with the twins. His coach thinks Brooklyn's mom is his mother because she's the one who shows up every week. 6 weeks later, I met Mom at the Family Support Solutions Center for our scheduled supervised visit. I almost didn't recognize her at first. Her hair was clean and styled. She wore actual clothes, jeans and a sweater instead of her ratty bathrobe. And she arrived exactly on time, which might have been the most shocking change of all. The parenting class instructor says punctuality demonstrates respect, she explained when I commented on it, not quite meeting my eyes. For yourself and others. This was our new reality, structured visits under Linda's watchful supervision while Mom completed her required services. The court had mandated parenting classes, individual therapy, and family therapy. She'd also been connected with subsidized childcare and a case manager who checked in twice a week. How are the classes going? I asked as we settled into the center's family room, which had been decorated to look casual but still felt institutional. Humiliating, she admitted, her hands twisting in her lap. I'm in a room full of teenage mothers and women with addiction histories, learning how to do things I thought I already knew how to do. But I prompted. But necessary, she said quietly. I didn't realize how much I'd been putting on you until I had to do it all myself. Even with the home care aide coming 3 days a week, even with the twins in daycare, I'm exhausted by bedtime. I don't know how you did it while going to school and maintaining a 4.0 GPA. I didn't sleep much, I said. And I drank a lot of coffee. My therapist says I've been using you to fill the void your father left, Mom said, still not looking at me. That I was trying to create the family I wished I had instead of taking care of the family I actually have. Before I could respond, the door burst open and chaos erupted. Jordan ran straight to me, followed by Benji, then the twins toddling behind with Linda supervising. Riley. Benji crashed into me with the force of a small meteor. I scored 2 goals at soccer last week. Mom came and saw. She recorded it on her phone. And she brought orange slices for the whole team at halftime, Jordan added, actually smiling. I looked at Mom in surprise. You went to his game? The case manager helped me figure out the schedule, Mom said, and I heard something in her voice I hadn't heard in years, pride. She showed me how to use the calendar app on my phone so I don't miss things anymore. Throughout the visit, I noticed small but significant changes. Mom was more present, making eye contact with the kids instead of staring at her phone. The younger kids seemed less anxious, less clingy. Jordan looked like an actual 13-year-old instead of a miniature adult. The twins still ran to me first, but when Mia scraped her knee on the play structure, she actually went to Mom for comfort instead of waiting for me to fix it. As our 2-hour visit wound down, Mom pulled me aside while Linda supervised the others. I've been thinking about what you said, Mom began, her voice nervous. About having another baby when I can't properly care of the ones I have. And I prompted carefully. I'm looking into adoption, she said quietly. For the baby. I'm meeting with an agency next week. I stared at her, completely shocked. That's a huge decision, Mom. It's the right one, she insisted, her eyes finally meeting mine. I can barely handle 4 kids even with all this support. A 5th would push us right back to where we were, with someone, probably you or Jordan, having to pick up my slack. The therapist helped me see that having another baby right now would be selfish. The baby deserves a family that's ready. For the first time in years, I saw my mother as a person instead of just the source of my problems, a broken person trying to piece herself back together. That's really brave, Mom, I said honestly. As the visit ended, Mom asked the question I'd been dreading. Will you ever come home, Riley? I don't know, I answered, because I couldn't lie to her. But this isn't about punishing you. It's about me getting to finish high school without being a parent before I'm old enough to vote. It's about having a life that's mine. Later that evening, I sat on Brooklyn's family's back porch, watching the sunset paint the sky orange and pink. Brooklyn's parents were inside making dinner. Her dad was teaching me how to cook actual meals instead of just surviving on mac and cheese and chicken nuggets, and Brooklyn sat beside me, both of us wrapped in blankets against the October chill. Mom asked if I'd come home again, I told her, pulling my blanket tighter. What did you say? That I didn't know. But honestly, I don't think I will. At least not to live. Maybe for holidays eventually, but not to live. Is that your way of getting back at her? Brooklyn asked carefully. I considered this, really thought about it. No, it's my way of finally putting myself first. The family services are helping Mom become a better parent. My siblings are getting what they need. And I'm applying to colleges without worrying about who's going to monitor Jordan's allergies at midnight or whether the twins have clean clothes for daycare. My phone buzzed with a text from Jordan. Mom actually made dinner tonight from scratch. It was edible and everything. And she helped me with my math homework. I smiled and showed Brooklyn the message. You know what I learned from all this? I said. The best revenge isn't about hurting the person who hurt you. It's about breaking the cycle so no one else gets hurt the same way. Another text came through, this time from Benji. Can you come to my Halloween party at school? Mom's volunteering, but I want you there too. Progress, I murmured, typing back a reply. Brooklyn's mom, Christine, poked her head out. Dinner's ready, girls. We made lasagna. Riley, I want you to see if you can taste the secret ingredient. As we headed inside to the warm kitchen that smelled like garlic and tomatoes and something that felt like home, I realized something profound. For the first time in 8 years, I was excited about food because I got to enjoy eating it, not because I had to make it. That night, I lay in my bed, in my room with my door locked and opened my college applications. I'd been too terrified to fill them out before, knowing I couldn't leave. But now, I clicked open the Common App and began typing my personal essay. The parentification of Riley Porter, how raising my mother's children taught me about boundaries, resilience, and the courage to save yourself. 3 months later, just after New Year's, I was settling into a comfortable routine. School was manageable without the constant worry of getting home to handle emergencies. I joined the debate team, something I'd always wanted to do but never had time for. I was even dating someone, a sweet guy named Austin from my AP government class, who thought my ambition to become a social worker was incredibly cool. My visits with my siblings had become something I looked forward to rather than dreaded. They were shorter, scheduled, and I got to be the fun sister instead of the exhausted parent. Mom was making progress, slow, sometimes frustrating progress, but progress nonetheless. Then my phone rang at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. Mom's number. Hello, I answered cautiously. We had rules now, no calls after 9 unless it was an emergency. Riley. Mom's voice sounded strange, shaky. I need you to meet me at Mercy General Hospital. My stomach dropped. What happened? Is it Jordan? Did he have an allergic reaction? No, the kids are fine. They're with the case manager. It's the baby. I'm in labor. But you're only what, 7 months? 29 weeks? Yes, Mom said, and I could hear the fear in her voice. Really? I'm scared. The adoption counselor can't get here until tomorrow, and I don't want to do this alone. I looked at the clock. I had a chemistry test tomorrow morning. I'd been studying for weeks. But I also heard something in my mother's voice I'd rarely heard before, vulnerability. Real, genuine fear without manipulation behind it. I'll be there in 20 minutes, I said. Brooklyn's parents drove me to the hospital without question. When I walked into the labor and delivery ward, I found Mom in a hospital gown, hooked up to monitors, looking small and scared in the sterile room. You came, she whispered. Of course I came. You're still my mom. I pulled a chair next to her bed. What did the doctor say? They're going to try to stop the labor, but if they can't, the baby will be premature. They said 29 weeks has good survival rates, but, she started crying. What if this is my fault? What if the stress of everything, the classes, the therapy, the case manager visits, what if it hurt the baby? Mom, no, I said firmly, taking her hand. Stress doesn't work like that. Sometimes babies just come early. Over the next 6 hours, I sat with her through contractions and medications and doctor consultations. We talked more honestly than we had in years. She told me about the adoption counselor she'd been working with, about the couple who wanted to adopt, a teacher and a physical therapist who'd been trying for years to have a baby. They sent me photos of their house, Mom said during a quiet moment. They have a nursery ready, painted mint green because they said they wanted to be surprised about the gender. They seemed so ready, so excited, the way I should have been when I was pregnant with the twins, but I was just terrified. Why did you keep having babies, Mom? I asked. After Dad left, why did you have more? She was quiet for a long time. Because babies love you unconditionally, she finally said. Because in those first few months, they need you absolutely, and I needed to be needed. I needed to matter to someone after your father made it clear I didn't matter to him. But we needed you, I said quietly. Me and Jordan, we needed a mother, not more siblings. I know that now, she whispered. My therapist has helped me see that I was trying to heal my abandonment wound by creating people who couldn't abandon me. But babies grow up. They become kids with needs I wasn't equipped to meet. And I just kept running from that reality by having another one. At 4 a.m., the doctors managed to stop her labor. The baby would stay put for now, hopefully gaining a few more crucial weeks. As the immediate crisis passed, Mom squeezed my hand. Thank you for coming. I know you didn't have to. I wanted to, I said, surprised to realize it was true. This doesn't mean I'm moving back home, Mom. But I'm learning that boundaries don't have to mean abandonment. I can support you while still protecting myself. Linda said something similar in therapy, Mom said. That healthy families have boundaries, that loving someone doesn't mean sacrificing everything for them. As dawn broke through the hospital windows, Mom fell asleep, exhausted. I sat there watching her, this flawed woman who'd caused me so much pain but was genuinely trying to change. Healing isn't linear, Linda had told me. Change isn't a switch that flips. It's a series of small choices made over and over again. My phone buzzed. A text from Jordan. Hope Mom's okay. Let me know when you hear something. I smiled. Even Jordan was learning healthy boundaries, caring without taking on the responsibility of fixing everything. I texted back, she's okay. Baby's okay. Going home soon. Love you. 4 weeks later, I stood in front of my bathroom mirror at Brooklyn's house, adjusting my dress for the debate team banquet. I'd won 3rd place in the regional competition, my first time competing. Austin was picking me up in 10 minutes. My phone rang. The adoption counselor. Riley, I wanted to let you know your mother gave birth this morning. A healthy baby girl, 6 pounds 2 ounces. She's in the NICU for observation, but she's doing well. My heart clenched. And Mom? She's doing well too, physically and emotionally. The adoptive parents are here. Your mom asked if you'd like to come meet the baby before she goes home with her new family. I looked at myself in the mirror.
E di come so far.
I'd reclaimed my life, my identity, my future. But I also understood now that healing didn't mean cutting off every connection to the past. It meant choosing which connections to keep and on what terms. Tell Mom I'll be there in an hour, I said. And for the first time in 8 years, I was going to the hospital not because I had to, but because I wanted to, because I was finally free to choose.